Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to this session of Diversity Week. This is the 15th year that Diversity Week programs have been going on campus, and we believe that this is a chance to step outside of your classrooms and to encounter and explore some issues that aren't always available to you so easily in the traditional classroom curriculum. This morning, we'll be focusing on a program that has been called locally in the Providence area, Raise Your Voice. And the whole purpose of this program is to bring voices and messages of peace and nonviolence into the social and music and art scene, using music and art and performing arts as a vehicle for teaching and educating people about peace and nonviolence. The importance of this is that in our typical educational system, we don't learn much about nonviolence. We are raised surrounded by a culture of violence on television, in the newspaper, on the web. You can find violence all the time being taught to us and shown to us. But you rarely see the same amount of imagery, news coverage, and educational emphasis on nonviolence. Nonviolence has emerged as an idea now that's being used in the Middle East. In January, in 3 weeks, using nonviolent strategies and methods, the people of Egypt had a revolution. In Tunisia, using cell phones and Twitter, they had a revolution. These were nonviolent revolutions. There were some casualties. About 300 people actually lost their lives in Egypt. But if you think about what happened there using nonviolence in 3 weeks in Egypt versus 10 years, this is the 10th year anniversary. Today is the 10th year anniversary of the war in Afghanistan. You think about billions of dollars every day being spent. You think about hundreds of thousands of people who have lost their lives in that region. You think about the thousands of Americans who have lost their lives. The scores of thousands of Americans who have been injured, who have physical as well as psychological scars. And it's time that we begin to educate ourselves about the practices and strategies and philosophies and approaches to living in a world based on nonviolence rather than violence as a solution to all of our problems. Today, you really have a great opportunity to hear from 3 young artists who perform all over, really, and their message that is in almost all the work they do is one of peace and harmony and love and nonviolence. Our artists today, 2 of them have, and they'll tell you about themselves and their work and their background. And we'll have some examples of their work. They're going to perform for you. And then we'll have some time for them to just interact and for you to talk with them and learn more about them. They'll each introduce their work and themselves to you. So I hope you have a great session here with us. I brought some material. This session is sponsored by our university's Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. Our Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies was established in 1998. How many of you even know we have a center for? Okay, yay! But often this has been, for too long, it's been sort of a secret on the campus, and we're trying to really let students know that there are courses, there are training opportunities for you to become nonviolence trainers with our center, and just to study and learn more about it. The university now has recognized a minor in nonviolence and peace studies that you can add to any major or any field that you're in, whether that's business or engineering. It doesn't really matter if you have an interest in learning more about it. I have some material that I'll circulate about some trainings and some courses that are coming up and some information about the center too. So I'll turn it over now to our guest artist. Who's up first? Okay. I'll turn it over to Rudy Rudacious Cabrera, and Rudy will get us going, I'm sure, this morning.
Am I getting no love now? For a second. I'm like, man, they're not liking me already? Alright. So how y'all feeling this morning?
Good, man.
Alright. I'm a little tired, but I have breakfast though, so I'm good. Okay, so my name is Rudy. Many call me Rudacious. I'm gonna keep the intros really short because I know we got other performers, and you know what I mean, I want to make sure nobody gets cut off like I did yesterday. So this first poem is about defining your own community, which I feel like is very important. We need to start defining ourselves and stop allowing others to define us. So this is what this poem is, me doing that, leading by example. So I love my baggy jeans because what it represents to me is a higher level of mental capability past the physical. See, my big clothes leave more space to grow, reaching goals seeming impossible. I'm equipped with killer priest heavy mentals, new knowledge, adrenaline, never settled in lower levels. Mother said my imagination is special, even at an early age. Immaturity stopped, imagination stayed. Still fantasizing of flying to outer space, tasting double stuffed Oreos dipped in the Milky Way, soaring past the clouds. Orion's belt keeps my pants from falling down, shouting cowabunga while surfing on brainwaves. But I'm not insane, just beyond Earth, on another plane. A flying mind state is only embraced once you strive for something better instead of settling for the same. Slavery, illusions, poverty is the chain. Deception, method, misconceptions has us thinking self-expression is gay. Claiming emotions are a female's only trait. Valuing egotistical images, how much money we make, locking up true feelings, no wonder it's called a rib cage. We sit, complain, never make a change. How much sense does that make? Settling for senseless living is asking for pain. If your path is leading towards failure, switch lanes. Make your number one priority having a smile on your face. Seek beauty in every single thing. Beauty is everywhere, even when it's not there. Ugliness exists to show what true beauty is. But don't listen to the lies. I speak from experience. I was dealt cards saying futures from the hood don't exist. Our community has half of our young kids doing life bids, selling dope to dope fiends, itching for a fix, laying decaying 6 feet deep in a ditch, slain and disagreements are turning to murders quick. So I turn poverty into poetry every time I spit, using rhythmic rhetorics for a riotous influence of righteousness. On the corner hustling, but knowledge is my product. This hustle, you can't knock it. I cop it from my connect. Life and college, investing in love, letting my soul get the profit. Taking an ounce of negativity, flipping it to a kilo of positivity. Cooking up wisdom, selling all my people prosperity. Life in this world is constantly full of casualties. So I turn losses to motivation. Optimism is my therapy. So the next time you wonder why my jeans are so big, understand. Every time I put them on, I think of all this. Bigger pants, bigger pockets, to fit more things. Like the mental notes I write to find happiness. In this world where love is close to extinct, my big pants are past. Just a fad to me. It has a deeper means, to keep a sky full of sunshine in the pocket of my baggy jeans. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun right now, baby. The revolution! revolution will not be back after these brief messages because the revolution will not be televised. You will not turn on the television and see Obama holding the head of a decapitated Klansman because the revolution will not be televised. You will not see Dynamis and Kramer team up with FEMA, head to New Orleans to help victims of Katrina, and you will never see either of them give an apology that they actually mean because the revolution will not be televised. George Bush will still not care about people who are black. Kanye West will still not know how to act, setting white people and black people years back because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be given a reality show looking for love on VH1. The revolution will not have good news about saving 15% or more on its car insurance by switching to Geico. The revolution will not give you 3 inches or more in natural male enhancements. The revolution will not come in your kid's Happy Meal with a side of fries because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not make it rain. The revolution will not use auto-tune. The revolution will not wear skinny jeans. The revolution will not brag about swagger it doesn't really have. The revolution will not get caught in paparazzi scandals because the revolution will not be televised. But Tribal Rain told me of a revolution poeticized. So I poeticize and theorize to show when, and only when, the revolution will be visualized. The revolution will be visualized if crappy baby daddies can start being the real fathers most of our youth never has. When crappy baby mamas can stop using kids to avenge a relationship gone bad. But most important, when we start to appreciate the good parents who break their backs. The revolution will be visualized if our ghetto celebs can start understanding whether they like it or not. A certain amount of responsibility is handed, a responsibility which they must learn to manage. The revolution will be visualized when we can see that if you keep it too hood, then the hood is the only place you are ever going to be. The revolution will be visualized when a man is not called a bitch for being in touch with his emotions. When we learn the difference between keeping it real and just being disrespectful. When we put ourselves in check before anyone else can. When we don't let our feelings override good decision making. And when fellas stand up and admit we are no tougher than women. The revolution will be visualized. I said the revolution will be visualized. I said the revolution will only be visualized. Yeah. When we have a clear understanding that knowledge is the only thing that separates a freedom fighter from a terrorist. The revolution will be visualized when we can get over ourselves and let go of our egos. Because for the revolution to happen, we must learn to fight together. The revolution is social responsibility. Thank you. For those that don't know, that was the original to that poem is by Gil Scott Heron. He wrote the original. The revolution will not be televised. So I don't want y'all to think I made that up or anything like that. You know, do your history and stuff. But by the way, just on a personal note, I do have a CD for sale. Shameless plug. $10 to $15. Even if you don't have intentions of buying a CD, shake my hand, give me a hug. It's all good. All right. So with that note of social responsibility, I feel like it's important to then lead by example as far as taking social responsibility and being more aware of how your actions can affect another person. So when I was thinking about that, I ended up writing this next poem, and it is about a topic that often gets passed up as boys will be boys. And it's a mixture of my own personal experience along with things that was happening in the news and stuff like that. I think you guys will figure it out as I go along. I just want my name and awesome to be synonymous. To be cool like John Travolta in the movie Grease. So smooth every time you comb your hair, an angel has an orgasm. Instead, a bad temper and acne ranked me 3 levels below social. Graded Fs whenever my patience was tested. So I was only popular enough to be quarantined. Then it hit me. punching someone will show I can hang. It's survival of the fittest. So I activate my Terminator eye, looking for someone bigger than me, but not so big I can't knock him out. I look at the bus stop, and there he was. His mug read undercover dialogues of fear. Walking with the bubble guts, closing my fist. Each knuckle became a laughing face. I swing. The strength of wedgies, rednecks, and spitballs externalize, imprinting my torment on his jaw. As nothing but a cappella leaves his lips, he falls to the pavement with a familiarity. No reaction, like my punch verified something. His bus arrived and he just stumbles on, putting back whatever pieces of pride he had. I felt cool! At the expense of my integrity. But battlefields have casualties. Civil wars don't compare to high schools. Look, I'm just trying to survive by making his dignity my Illuminati sacrifice. But having once been in his sneaker soles, remorse sinks in. Walking home with my heart beating in my toes, feeling like I'm arm wrestling with my bladder, not knowing being a bully came with so much guilt. So I signed into Facebook, wanting to apologize, but my plea was one status update too late. He wrote, "Last straw. That's it. Swallowed all my pills. Should be dying soon." Makes me wish I would have just stayed the victim. By the way, everything is accurate of what happened in my personal life, except for the Facebook quote and the kid actually committing suicide. But that quote is an actual real taken quote from someone who pronounced their suicide on Facebook or whatever after being bullied. But when I started reading that and finding out that that was happening, I had to put myself in the hot seat, and I think that's something that we all have to do. We all have to be willing to put ourselves in the hot seat, because it's easy to talk about issues and point that finger, but it's tough to put yourself in there and be like, well, what did I do to possibly cause something? So I'm going to do another poem that's pretty serious, and I'm going to try to end on a happy note. Yesterday I got cut off and I tried to end on a happy note, but it's all good. Yeah, so this is another one that comes from right here. Fact. A sexually assaulted past can lead to a promiscuous future. A future where sex is never pleasure. It's pain. It's unconscious pain. I know a girl. She takes a penis like a sword. As each stroke of penetration slices open her soul, she bleeds out tragic nights. Reliving mom and dad's drunken fights alone in her upstairs bedroom, scared, and in comes daddy's best friend to fornicate her innocence away. There she lay. This angel had her wings ripped, an oil spill in her ever-flowing thoughts. Years pass, still on her back. What once tortured her financially supports her. A super porn star, able to make erections in a single bound, and it's all good now, right? Wrong. Every movie made reopens her scars. Every ass slap is a heart stab. Every 9-incher is a pride ripper, hiding behind liquor, trying to heal herself. Drugs and alcohol make her want to kill herself. But she already died on the inside that night it all started. Loving herself, she's unable, since her father's best friend raped the cradle. Now before her confession, my mind was once the abyss of perversion. But I can't even watch porn anymore because a tombstone inner child turned a guilty pleasure to necrophilia. Afraid of becoming a sex-crazed pig, I decided to be celibate, baptizing myself in tears of embarrassment. And through my practices, I could relax a bit. Now I see women for who they really are. I used to just stop at the breast underneath the bra, but now I'd rather dig deeper till I reach your heart. And something I've realized is most women haven't been held right. Most women haven't been held tight and heard the words, baby, I love you. But ladies, please, re-examine your man. It's not on purpose he won't love you, just maybe he can't. Maybe every time he touched his emotions, he was called a fag. Maybe broken homes told him love was something he couldn't have, and now he's got a cinder block where his heart used to be. Suppressing finesse, expressing himself aggressively because his fists are the only way to let out his cries. See, these issues lie underneath bed sheets, where bed sets turn into caskets, and I couldn't live with myself if I added to any woman's pain. So for 4 years, I practiced being celibate, learning how to connect mentally, and turning women on using a different form of sex, where instead of thrusting dick, I will get your thoughts wet so you can take in this thick, long, hard philosophy. Switching topics like switching positions, exciting your mind, sending chills up your spine. The nipples of your intellect will erect to you, bust orgasms of revelations that say if a man can't get inside you, he doesn't deserve to be inside you. Thank you. So that's just to say, to just be aware of how your actions affect other people. I'm not saying you got to be a prude or anything like that, or you have to completely isolate yourself from people. But you want to go in your day-to-day conscious of how your actions affect other people, and I think that's what's going to help our world develop into something better and get us out of all this madness that we're living in. Yeah. So I'm going to end on a happy note that I didn't get a chance to end on yesterday. I'm going to do something that scares the crap out of me, which is doing a poem that I'm not 100% totally sure I have memorized. I got it like 98% memorized. I know that.
Good.
But I like to face my fears head on, so I'm going to do that with you all.
Yeah.
This is a really optimistic poem. In the summer of '06, I started doing theater. The director pulled me to the side. He said, "Rudy, if you ever need to talk to someone, I've got your back. However, once we begin rehearsal, leave all problems at the door." Being a teen obsessed with street life, everything was seen as a challenge. And deep in my childish mind, I took offense. But in a moment of clarity, I saw his words were not an insult. It was an invitation. Ricardo Pitts Wiley became Morpheus and began morphing this world to a new dimension, where a 17-year-old skinny Dominican's point of view was set in stone. He mixed up magic to show me a place where treatment was determined by action, not the baggy jeans and oversized tee hanging off my thin frame. So I extend to you this same invitation, to a place where laughter is liberation, and Tupac's words are gospel, because through all the rain and the pain, you've got to keep your sense of humor. So welcome. The passwords are please and thank you. Make sure to leave all problems at the door, and don't you ever forget to smile. Smile. Like a kid in a candy store, living in a world with no diabetes and your parents just gave you an allowance. Smile. Like the coolest kid in school is having the greatest private party ever, and your invitation was personally delivered to your doorstep. Smile like passing your middle school crush a note asking, "Do you like me?" and she checked off yes instead of always writing maybe. Smile. Smile like the shoes you finally saved up for are on sale and you have enough money to buy a matching shirt. Smile like it's your day off from work and your best friend calls with front row tickets to see your favorite comedian. Smile like everyone forgot your birthday, but the person you love the most gave you the perfect gift. Smile like you just got your braces taken off and your teeth are a part of your favorite outfit. Smile until it becomes an incurable disease, leaving you to never hurt again. Smile like you barely studied for your final exam because your band had a gig opening up for your musical idol, but you woke up the next day and still aced it. Smile like you just made that championship game-winning three-point shot right at the buzzer. Smile like you're holding divorce papers. Reminiscing when you first got married, and right before you start to cry, smile like Tina Turner when she finally left Ike. Smile like God is auctioning off eternal happiness and no one matched your price. Smile like you're worried your parents are homophobic, but you came out the closet and all they gave you was love. Smile like you're watching a sold-out arena sing every lyric word for word to a song you wrote. Smile like it reverses death and could get you one more hug from the person you miss the most. Smile as a salute for those every day who have less of a reason but still find the courage to. And just smile like my friend Anisha Gibbs, who's like Angela Davis to me because she possesses revolution in her tenderness. Smile. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rudy Rubacious Cabrera. And Rudy's got what you just heard and more on his CD, and he'd be happy to spread some of that love and that positivity in his spoken word with you. And so next, next up is Lori Lachien, Miss Lori. Miss Lori comes to us.
Yeah.
Miss Lori comes to us from late last night from Arizona. And she's spreading nonviolence and love just about everywhere she goes. And take it away, Miss Laura.
All right, y'all, how you doing? Good to see you. I came here from AZ, as he said, but I'm from East St. Louis, Midwest. Yeah. And I teach at a middle school called Paulo Freire Freedom School. And I teach nonviolence. I got certified here. And then I just fell in love with it. I knew that that was the way that the youth were going to be able to really accept themselves and each other. And so music is like one of the most powerful things that bonds all people together. And so that's what I do. I teach music in a nonviolence class. And I'm part of this group called the Positive Peace Warriors Network. And we kind of go all over the country and do trainings and play music and introduce people to Kingian nonviolence. So if any of y'all want to learn about Kingian nonviolence more, you can talk to especially me and Callie because we're certified trainers. So we would love to talk to you and get you involved. So I'm going to play a song that I wrote for my 8th grade class last year. You know, just they're going off to high school, so I want to give them a message. Oh, I don't have to play in front of 1,000 people strong. So I have you to help me sing along. You ain't gotta sing like me, no, you better sing like you. Most times you ask me, you already know what to do. So, I want y'all to help me sing on this next one. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Maybe? Huh? Maybe? So it's like it's a call and response, okay? So if I go, I'll be a stepping stone, then you guys go, I'll be a stepping stone from you to me, from you to me. A stepping stone will make you feel free.
Make you feel free.
All right, okay. So, we might spread that, like, for real. If we want this to be as magical of a moment as we want, then we all should sing. And if not, don't worry about it. It's all good. I'm not going to force you to do nothing. But this is what, I teach music to the kids. The kids get up on it. So y'all might want to prove middle school, children like you guys are stronger,
University. University.
Right. So it goes like this. I'll be a stepping stone, from you to me. Stepping stone, make you feel free. Stepping stone, won't be alone. Stepping stone, all right.
You to me.
I'll be a stepping stone, away from all pain. I keep on singing, find the strength. Stepping stone, over this road. Stepping stone, from you. Well, I'll be a stepping stone, out of this war. Out on singing, don't matter. Stepping stone, won't be alone. Stepping stone, from you to me. I'll be stepping stone, you to me. From you to me. Stepping stone, make you feel free. Stepping stone, won't be alone. Got stepping stone, you to me. Let's do it again, y'all. I'll be a stepping stone, away from all pain. I keep on singing, find the strength. Stepping stone, ever from you to me. I said from you to me. From y'all to me. From war to peace. All right, check it up. This is how we apply them kicking on times. Can everybody do that for me? Shake it. All right. That last line from war to peace, a second grader was like, excuse me, I have a line that you could add to your song. And I was like, okay. And he said, from war to peace. And I was like, that's beautiful. So now I got to give big up to Cruz in Tucson for giving me that last line.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'll sing this song. It's kind of like a meditation. And it's called Give Me the Suffering. And you might hear that and be like, what you want to suffer? Like, why would you want to do that? But really, it's all about how we all have suffering, right? And we often need to take a load off. And often we do it in unhealthy ways, by addiction or whatever, right? And so this song's more about, like, personally, I've been on a journey where I feel strong enough in myself that I can help take people's loads off, okay? So if someone's got something weighing on them, they can come to me, give a little bit of that to me, let it flow from you, So that doesn't mean I'm going to take all your pain, or I'm a masochist and I love pain. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's about that transfer, When you feel someone who's really upset and you give them a hug, you can feel that transfer, right? You know what I'm talking about? We can feel that connection. So that's kind of what this song's about. And this song was inspired by a 8th grade student who every day against the wall had his head down on his knees in like the most misery I've ever seen. More miserable than I've ever been. and he's in 8th grade. So this is inspired by him. brilliant students in Chicago at a school called North Lawndale College Prep. These are kids from one of the most dangerous hoods in Chicago. And they decided to take a week out of their time before school starts in the summer to train to become nonviolence trainers in their school. And they actually turned their culture in their school from a culture of violence to a culture of peace. And they had 100 days with no physical fights when they used to just have fights all the time. So yeah, let's take it up for that. So this is not just us up here like, oh, we're cool, we do these things. This creates real change in people, and this revolutionizes people's lives. This is serious. You know, we're up here talking about smiling, I'm playing these pretty songs. This is serious stuff, okay? One of our students her friend got shot up during the training, okay? So this is some real stuff. This is inspired by those students. This song's called From the Mind of a Privileged Kid, okay? So this is about how those who live in the hood and have to experience the cycle of violence and those who come from more privileged hoods or neighborhoods might not really understand each other's narratives. And they might not know that some kids go to school with guns, gun violence, and some kids go to schools with really nice laptops. And sometimes those two, demographics don't associate. So that's what this is about.
Thank you, and a big shake it up for Lori. Thank you, Lori. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And but we're not done yet. No, there we have yet one more performing artist with us, a graduate of the University of Rhode Island, a Rhody Ram. So let's give it up and welcome Kaliana,
Fifth Element,
also known as the Fifth Element.
Gotta see if any of these mics work.
I'm making the check.
Check, check. Check, check. Sound. Check, check. Mic check. No. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
Don't look at me.
It's okay. I'm a performer. This is what I do. So, I'm Callie Champlain. I'm also known as Fifth Element, and it is a pleasure to be here. I call myself Fifth Element because the Fifth Element is you. And my job is to wake all of you up so that you know it's you. In everything that you do in your life, you are the catalyst for change. So in my Buddhist practice, I practice Nichiren Buddhism. We talk about the human revolution, and the artists have all talked about that here today. But the real change comes from you, being at home and kind of checking yourself with your parents and your friends. Those moments are the real moments that create a peaceful world. I'm with a collective called Isis Storm. It's a women's collective where we take media, art, and music and use it to educate about people and about women. I was going to give you a little hip-hop, but today I'm going to do it a cappella, and apparently the universe decided it should be so. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick this off, and basically what I want to say is women are a very important part of this world. Being a woman and being a woman in your full entity, not trying to be hyper-masculine, not trying to be ultra-feminine, but embracing all of your qualities, and for people to understand that we always had clan mothers that helped stop the wars. We always had the wisdom of women to come in and help heal the wounds. So let's open that back up to my ancestors. I sit upon clouds and cause the people to rise. As I dance upon stars, I materialize. Dragons from fables where unicorns lie. Manifest pyramids, how badass am I? Mountains raised when breast milk's made, told once to behave, no longer enslaved. A Shepsut, resurrected when my womb's in the moon. My blueprint of life can't be misconstrued, and the blueprint of life, reproductive, unks live above female thighs, and now you know why. I refer to my third eye's intrauterine wise, consequently it uniquely lets the law rise. The lotus, it blooms when true self realizes balance is set, cause sunset won't forget the lead does lay to rest, lates all manifest in the first female born to a nocturnal morn to gauge the sun and the moon when our world becomes torn. I make day nocturnal and give moon sun's kiss, warrior eternal with maternal shifts. And should the planet get hit with my meteor shit, I'm so nice, I'll raise force fields and help guide the shift. Listen, until I'm healed, no moves can be made. I'm the mother of kings. I am the mother of slaves. I have fed children not mine and nurtured the brave in sight so bright it illuminates caves. Been the cause for new laws, the beat of the drum, the clan mother's wisdom before wars begun. All women my daughters, all men are my sons. I've made meals from nothing and always gave some. Struggled through tests from the womb to the breast, fought wars with the best with no medal on my chest. With my breath, I accept all this given to me. as I open my eyes to realize I'm life's key. I sit upon clouds and cause the people to rise. As I dance upon stars, I materialize. Dragons from fables where unicorns fly, manifest pyramids. How badass am I can make day nocturnal and give moon sun's kiss. Warrior eternal with maternal ships. And should the planet get hit with my meteors, it's quite alright. I raise force fields and help guide the shift. I am a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've talked a lot today. I'm gonna, make this quick, and I think I know people might have questions and things that they want to give, and I don't want to cut too much into that time. So this piece, we've talked a lot today about nonviolence. I was actually trained. I was mentored by Lori and trained by Globe, who's sitting here with the camera. Don't let him fool you. The man's a beast. But one of the things that we talk about is there's non-violence, right? Meaning without violence. But you can still have violence with that because there can still be congestion in the spirit. You can stop two kids from fighting, but if they're still hating each other, that's not non-violence. So non-violence is the ability to acknowledge the violence and walk through it, which is way more powerful. And in order to do that, you have to educate yourself in other people's perspectives and kind of step out of your box. So my mentor, Daisaku Ikeda, of my Buddhist organization, talks about perspective of history. Columbus Day is coming up. So I might have to call Columbus out real quick because there's a story that's not being told. And in order for us to be able to heal the past, we have got to acknowledge the things that were done in order to get through them now in the present. So Daisaku Ikeda writes, "But the history that is recorded and passed on does not always transmit the whole truth. I believe it is vital in this day and age that rather than draw hasty conclusions from one aspect of truth, we try to find out the complete truth about an issue. So much of the conflict and hatred in the world today is caused when we make these sweeping judgments on the basis of partial knowledge. For example, it has been widely taught that Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, but people were already living there long before he got there. It may have been a discovery from the European perspective, but certainly not from the viewpoint of the indigenous American people. I can attest to that. Tragically, the conquerors of the so-called New World were so self-centered that they did not even regard those indigenous peoples as human beings, slaughtering them or rounding them up as slave labor. The view that Columbus discovered America legitimized similar actions on the part of others. Within the single word discovery lies a self-righteous view of history, a view that justifies the subjugation of other peoples in one's own interest." So really, big ups to Daisaku Ikeda for touching on that, and many people don't know that only 10 minutes from here is the Great Swamp. That's where one of the largest Native American massacres happened. You're on the land of the Narragansetts. You're on the land of my ancestors, of the Wampanoags, of people who came here before. So we need to understand that history and honor it when we're walking on this land. Women and children were driven to those woods 10 minutes from here. They tried to protect them. Narragansett tried to protect them. The Wampanoag tried to protect their tribe. And they literally came in and slaughtered them. So let's be very careful when we start talking about discovery. You can catch me working on Columbus Day discovering myself, not that of thievery and betrayal, taking what is not yours and claiming it. I shall free me to free you, for that is the only way to remove the shackles from my soul, mi alma, and raise the awareness. Para usted la gente, needing freedom from our minds of delusions. This song is not for me, no. I will construct this melody out of a tune carried by your tears from the long walk on the dog road of redemption. No, this song will not be for me, nor carry a complicated rambunctiousness of hi-hats and hooks and things to make it catchy. For the catch will be in your spirit that is awakened by two guitarros played by the righteous and determined. Break away, dear heart, from the frightened and deprecated. It is time to march. I will no longer sit under trees or pick grapes for you without proper conditions. King and Chavez told me I have rights. Viva King, viva Chavez. I'm fresh with this love being that is desperately trying to reach out to you. Esta canción no está para mí, para por la gente crying because they cannot see tomorrow when the sun will rise and two guitars lead us to freedom. Mi corazón es contigo. I know the suffering, not of the field perhaps, but of the soul, pero de la alma. Sí. My struggle lays in civil rights. Viva King and labor unions. Viva Madre Jones and underground railroads. Viva Tubman and migrant workers. Viva Chavez and global dialogue. Viva Akeda and AIM. Viva Peltier and my ancestors forgotten. Viva Great Swamp. My struggle lays in all the protesters who fight for the right of everyone to have a full and happy life. Viva todos. My struggle lays in the struggle to reveal the true self. The only sustainable revolution expressed bilingually on a platter of freedom. So no, this song is not for me. For my revolution is now to fuel the many through my story and share that one person can make a differencia. So watch me, watch you, and succeed in our struggles as one people together with rhythms that can move mountains of ignorance. A djembe or conga, my weapons of choice. That will move the world and encourage it to rise with the sun in the east and cast to the west, resounding and passionate like a long-awaited lover's caress. I am awake and alive and therefore capable, and so are you. So this song, esta canción, is not for me, no es para mí, but pero for para you, usted, dos guitarros, and la música de freedom. Here is to songs of social justice. As we choose to wake up and rise, linking arm and sing. Nosotros venceremos. Metakuye oyasin. We are all related. Libertad, freedom.
Yeah.
That piece had also come out of 2006. We did a Songs of Social Justice colloquium. And I had the opportunity to meet Augustin Lira and Patricia Wells Solorzano, and they were two migrant workers who really used the spirit of the civil rights and this idea of freedom to be able to help us all understand that we're all kind of facing the same struggle. So just keeping all of that stuff in mind. I do have one more piece really quick, and I think that it is an important piece because of everything that we're facing in the world today. I think that there's a lot going on, and we just had a situation with Troy Davis. I don't know if any of you know about Troy Davis, but he was accused of killing an officer. People had recanted their testimony, but they still left him on death row. There's still work to do, people. There's still a lot of work to do, okay? This is called Rebuilding Fantasia. How many people have ever seen The Never-Ending Story? Okay, so like Falcor the Luck Dragon can come in and sweep you up and save you, but while Fantasia's falling apart, the one thing you need to do in order to keep it alive is keep dreaming. And every time you dream and you make a wish on a grain of sand, Fantasia becomes more beautiful. That's what we need to do again. I'm holding on by fingertips. Holding on to ragged, jagged edges by fingertips, holding on to sides of bathtubs, trying not to let myself drown, seeing candlelight sway from the other side of the water as it surrounds me. I am 7 days away from winter solstice, and it is darker than ever, trying to give birth to dreams that may instead just need a C-section, and all I can hear is DMX because it is dark and hell is hot, and it is dark and hell is hot, and I am holding on by fingertips, holding on to slippery slopes caked in the mind of old tapes by my fingertips, facing life during death's potential, trying to make something whole in the fragments of my tears and spurts and knots, and try not to want to kill myself with my internal beretta of abusive dialogue that can rip holes and leave shards of glass in your soul. I am holding on by fingertips. suffocating amongst my sister's short staccato breaths as I cried for her. Wishing I could hold my brother, numbing the pain with a bottle of E&J that he thinks makes him see for a little while. But it's still dark when he awakes and hell is even hotter. I watch as my people throw themselves over mountains for substances, relationships, fame, career, status, and success with no bungee cord because they forgot they were already valuable. I am holding on by fingertips, messed up, bleeding, shredded fingertips, pouring my way to the top, begging to believe, screaming at a mountain goat to reel me in or just stomp me with its hoofs and let me fall. Watching those who had nobility forget to acknowledge their wretchedness and, in the process, lose their crown. Watching families lose their homes, men lose character, women lose self-trust, and at the same time, listen, a child is molested, another beaten, and an addict ODs, and a bride got burned today, and I cannot obtain the positions I rightfully earned today, and Katrina was never healed. Not the storm or the young woman who cried in my arms when I tried to pull her up as she held on by fingertips. And the day someone thought of suicide, a child soldier was forced to pick up an M16 after watching his mother's rape and his father's murder. And a woman named Netta in Tehran, Iran, lost her life to a militiaman, and Troy Davis can't even get justice on the stand. I am trying to hold on by fingertips, engulfed by the great nothing that swallowed Fantasia because the people forgot to keep dreaming, keep believing. And Falcor the Luck Dragon, he's a million miles away while some guidance counselor says to a 14-year-old in the ghetto, your dreams are too unrealistic. Maybe you should shoot for something realistic. And when that moment occurred, we all lost a piece of our world. When that moment occurred, we all lost a piece of our world. I'm holding on by fingertips, bruised, torn fingertips where the bone is revealed and skeletons fall in handbags and paintings by Diaz that mirror my soul because it sucks to lose yourself. It's even harder to believe that you deserve better and most difficult to know my people. Listen to me. It's your wishes that can rebuild Fantasia. But instead we toss our grains of sand to floors of hopelessness and soon the land decays. Tell me, when will you be bold? Tell me, when will you be bold? Bold enough to quiet their voices so you can begin to hear your own. When will you face your demons so they can become the audience for your dreams? When will you wake up to your greatness so you can stop beating your head against that wall of self-doubt and despair? When will you see the war in Iraq is the same war inside of yourself? That Rwanda was merely a mirror of self-hate. That the pilgrims burning and slaughtering native women and children was a sign of the greatest insecurity because, my people, terrorism starts from within a broken spirit that's become terrified. Our spirits are broken and terrified. That rape, addiction, alcoholism, murder, abuse, and all heinous crimes come from that darkness deep within that, if gone unchecked, can create the nothing that can tear apart our world. And when this happens, I'm going to need you to hold on by fingertips, even as the howling wolves of hopelessness and despair nip at your heels waiting for you to drop, even as those winds try and rip your body from the last piece of land that swallowed Fantasia. Hold on, like a mother holds her dead child, refusing to believe. Hold on, like a pit bull latches onto an assailant that tried to hurt the hand that feeds them. Hold on, like the love you never thought that you could have was leaving. Hold on, and make a wish, and believe, and await your luck dragon, who will fly you from your dark to your light. Then you take that grain of sand, and here, we will begin to rebuild Fantasia. Thank you.
Yeah!
Okay, thank you, Callie. It's fantastic. I hope you guys are getting the sense of the power of this kind of art form and how it can send a message for love, peace, restoration, building community in a better world. just wanted to take the last few minutes. We have about 5 minutes left, and I'd like to just invite our artists to stand and maybe take a few questions, any questions that you have. I also want to just recognize a couple of people here. Jonathan? Jonathan Lewis is here, alum of the university and our Center for Nonviolence. Jonathan does... Jonathan's been doing nonviolence training since getting his training here many years ago. He's been doing training all over, nationally, internationally. And if you have a chance to meet and talk with Jonathan...
Mike's working.
And then also I want to recognize a student here who's also familiar with nonviolence work who has done some work in Providence with the Institute for the Study and Practice of Nonviolence, Eric Betancourt. Eric, say hi. Eric's finishing up his theater degree here at URI, and I just ran into him the other day. So please, any questions you might have in the remaining few minutes for our guests, please. Here.
No,
Not all at once. Not all at once.
we're real people. It's not always that intense or scary.
Wow, we're really clear though. We're really clear.
Did we make ourselves clear, I guess? Can I get a word?
Word.
All right. Y'all ready to go out and change the world? I'm sorry, what?
She said, how we do that?
By changing you. Do better today than you did yesterday, and the world will shift.
All right, well, shake it up for yourselves for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for allowing us to share our words. It helps us just as much as you.
Who else got a
I have
question?
a question. Some of you, or many of you are students or have been students in the past. Given your experience and what you guys have been through, what's one thing that you could share with these students here about what they could do on a college campus specifically, about something like that? Because I heard somebody say, how do you do that? And just through your experience, could you share something?
Okay. I'll just say, I think the most important thing is to get groups on, there's a lot of groups, right, on campus. Y'all probably have like African Students Association, Asian Students Association, LGBTs, right, all those. We can't just be in our own little microcosms. We need to be with each other. Like the LGBT and the African Students Association and the Pacific Asian group, they all need to get together. Like, so that's my suggestion is working with the groups that are already made instead of trying to make a group that's not existing yet. Maybe use what you have and collaborate with other organizations and people, and that will build your if you're trying to make a movement, that will build the movement.
If I could comment, piggyback off of that in a smaller sense. I mean, in my personal experience, you got to give teachers who are trying to reach out to you a chance, because the only reason why I'm even here, the only reason I even got introduced to theater or anything is through an 11th grade English teacher by the name of Trish Bodkin from Central High School. She was the one who introduced me to Ricardo Fitzwiley and Mixed Magic Theater and got me started, you know, and that's because I gave her an opportunity to show me that she was real and honest and that she actually cared, and she showed, and she gave me the opportunity to teach her some things about what I knew. So it's you know, that's another aspect of it is you know, give teachers a chance, you know what I mean? Not, you know, some of them are just trying to get a check, not all of them though. You can't assume that about every single one of them, you know what I mean? So give teachers a chance, man. I say that to all the young kids, but I say that to you guys as well. Give teachers a chance, man.
Piggybacking off of Rudy, I know we didn't plan this, but it all funnels into get a mentor. You know, really get a mentor. When I was here, Kathleen Torrens was an amazing resource who not only helped me find my voice, but build even stronger conviction in what I was trying to do. So, you know, really build with each other, honor your teachers, please get a mentor, and challenge yourself in one new thing every day. It doesn't seem like a lot, but really world change is going to happen when we change. When we change, that's the way it's going to take place. So, yeah. Thank you very much. I know y'all, it's been long, but thank you.
I think there was a question over here.
What was that?
actually.
It might take a while. I was just gonna ask, like, what was, like, individually your defining experience, a moment that made you want to doing?
might take
It's
a
too,
while.
yeah, that's.
I'm trying to think. I mean, personally, the first standing ovation I'd ever gotten on stage in 9th grade. That was part of a play. And then through that, I started to find more profound reasons for artistry as opposed to just enjoying it, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I tie everything together. Like, this is therapy for me. At the same time, it's fun. And at the same time, I'm able to help other people. I'm killing more than 2 birds in one, so I'm killing like 4 or 5 birds in one.
Maybe you're reviving. Maybe you're
You
reviving.
know what I'm saying? And I get paid for it every now and then.
Nonviolence! Reviving birds! We're reviving!
Well, then I'm flying on 5 birds with 1 arm. How about that one? So, you know, that's how we remix it. But yeah, so that was
I'll just say really quick that I went through a lot of violence in my life and a lot of like struggle, and singing in like a stairwell where I could echo, that was like the most healing way for me. And then I saw as I began singing in the gospel choir that people were like literally like coming to Jesus in their chairs because of what we were singing, and they were really moved by our voices. And then that's when I found out that me as an individual and all of you as individual actually have power that affects others. And once I found out that singing was my healing and that also singing was other people's healing, it really is for the healing element, because we all have so much pain, and that's where violence stems from. So that was that.
I've had a series of moments. I probably can't name them all, but I think each one made me deeper and deeper in my conviction and my voice and what had to get done. But 2 moments was the first time I ever went to the Black Rep and spit on the mic. I was, not a lot of women, went in back in the day and just like bogarted, and I was a little timid thing, and Rage at the time was like, get in there, like go in, and I went in with all these dudes and I was like, give me my mic, but there was like such a sense of empowerment, like in that moment of getting my message out, and like this has always been my therapy. So I think it was like in that moment I was like, yeah, like this is bomb. Then after a while I went into recovery for alcohol and drug addiction for 7 years, and during that time I stayed away from the open mic because I didn't want the attention from the people to feed my self-esteem to become my new addiction. What I would do is I used to go to the woods. I'm part Native American. I used to go to the woods and actually perform for the oak trees by the lake. And I would say that that was one of my strongest defining moments, because I realized that art was within me. Like no matter what was going on in my life, my voice and my art was within me. And it wasn't about an audience, it wasn't about anything, it was about that healing. So yeah, that was pretty fresh.
Okay. I want to thank our artists again. The program was brought to you this morning by your University of Rhode Island Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. We offer the training programs, the training courses. If you're interested, visit the website, learn more about it. If you want to visit with the artists, I think they'll be back out maybe in the hallway. And thank you for coming. I hope you found this to be a meaningful program.
Yay to you! Give